Bonjour, bonjour, madame et messieurs, also guten Tag, meine Damen und Herren, and to all the days out there, a very warm welcome. My name is Jesper Offersen, and if it has escaped your attention, then we are talking about Chanel, Boy de Chanel, and I was a little bit inspired today. So when I got dressed, I thought, why not sort of like honor Karl the Great Lagerfeld? So that's what I did. So today we are going to talk about some of these products from the line that's called Boy de Chanel. So this was not sponsored, but it was a Christmas gift actually. So I did not pay for it myself. So it was a very nice gift. So there was just that little thing, and I was told that I needed to do a review as well. So yeah, here we go. And there are various products, and you can see them behind me up there. And for example, we have this hydrating gel, and there are something that is supposed to make your skin sort of like look matte. So this one here will make your skin sort of like look matte-ish. And then they have something else, and that is a serum that you can put on first, and that will also sort of like make your skin matte. And I think the thing is that usually if you have something that is for men, so this is obviously designed for men, and usually a man does not want to be super shiny in the face. So oftentimes usually it's sort of like it has to be really matte, but I just think it can be a little bit too matte, and that also looks unnatural. And usually when you are making skincare lines and creams and makeup and that sort of thing for men, then usually it has to be, as I said, matte. But if it looks too matte, it also looks a little bit not super natural, and there is maybe a little bit of a giveaway that actually you're wearing something. And there's nothing wrong with wearing makeup. I'm actually wearing a bit of makeup today, and that is of course the one from Boy de Chanel, and we have that one here. So it is one that is number 20, and so it's a light version. So it's sort of like sort of fits to my skin. Maybe it's a little bit darker than my natural skin, so maybe in summertime it would be better. But if you are using these products here, so the first thing I did, we are also talking about some of the other products, and not all of them, but some of them. And we have the lip balm here. And then there is this, so you can actually shade your eyebrows a little bit. And then there is the varnish, and we can come back to the varnish later, because it is this one here. And as you can see, it's not a clear varnish. And I think the whole idea about that is that it is in order to make it not super shiny, but just like make it look like your nails are well nourished and polished and looking good, but not like overwhelmingly shiny stuff. But the first thing I did, well, I actually tried the lip balm. That was the first thing. But then I went on to this one here, which is a lotion, or lotion tonic anti-brilliance, so sort of like anti-shine toning lotion. You can call it a serum if you like. But I would say the first thing that happened was actually that I did not know how to open it. So it has this sort of like a weird lid up there, and it broke. I'm sorry, it broke. It was my first attempt to do it, but yes, you actually just have to turn it like that, and then you can see it kind of like goes like that. And then you can just, I think you just pouring it out like that, because what I actually did to begin with was, when this one was off, I just pushed down and then something came out of it. But I realized you can't really push anything down when the lid is working as it's supposed to work. So yes, I tried this one here, and it kind of like, yeah, sort of like you get sort of like a matte-ish finish, and that is basically, I would say, because it contains a lot of silica, and that is something that will make your skin go sort of like a matte-ish, and with sort of like a control all the shininess, so oiliness and that sort of thing. And then I tried this one on top, and again it also has this sort of mattifying stuff in it, and it actually has something that is called aluminium starch something, and I will show it up here. And that also makes your skin look sort of like matte-ish. And an interesting thing is actually, because usually when you are making makeup for men, it's supposed to be so that men does not want shiny lips. Well, I am a man, and I like shiny lips. So when I tried this one here, yes, I can see the idea is that the masses might want matte lips when it is for a man. But I just felt that, and I'm wearing it at the moment, and we could just try this one, just to see how perfumes. So it's kind of like that. And I would say, yes, these products here, they are super expensive, I would say, and particularly for what it is, basically. So this one here, and it will sort of like, as you can see, it's not super shiny. It just looks like your lips are nourished. But because there is this aluminium starch thing in it, then it feels like you would like to move your lips around a lot, and also make sure that it's still sort of like working, because it sort of like have a tendency to sort of like dry up a little bit, and I don't feel that it is really sort of like nourishing my lips a lot. I would say there are other products that are doing that better. So I would say it was something I felt that I needed to use often during the day. But actually it contains artificial wax, and that is usually something that is sort of like matte-ish, and I thought maybe that was why it was a little bit sort of dry. But I've tried other lip balms that has that same in it as well, so it's kind of like more like with the other ingredients. And I would say when you have something like aluminium starch in this here, then it's sort of like it dries out your lips a little bit. I would say, in short, it doesn't feel as nourishing as something else, just like a normal lip balm that, yes, normally will be a lot more shiny. So what did I actually do when I was trying the makeup? I did this, that I used this one here first. So I did completely as I think they would have wanted me to do. So I used this one first, and then I used this one here on top, and I would say then I went on to use the foundation, and it is here, and it's just open it, and yes, you have this sort of like pump, so kind of like completely normal as you would expect. And you see sort of like the color at the bottom here. So when you put it on, something happened, and that was normally when you're putting on a foundation, you would like to have a little bit of some slip underneath. And yes, I know that this one here is sort of like a very sheer sort of like a coverage. It's not like super coverage like a mask. So still you need a little bit of some slip underneath. And when you're using a product like this, and like this one here, then yes, you can guess it, you will not get a lot of slip underneath, and that simply means that it's really difficult to put the foundation on top. So what I did was that I just used a brush to begin with, because then sort of like maybe more easily even it out, and then after that I like to use fingers in order to take those streak marks away that can be in the foundation when you're using a brush. And then I found, and I will show you a little picture of that, and you can see it behind me here, and that was actually that this stuff is simply started to roll off. So to me it seems like this foundation here is not very compatible with the gel light moisturizer thing. So that was a little bit of a shame. So what did I do today? Because I'm wearing this foundation today, so it is on my skin at the moment. What I actually did was I took the eyebrow, so the Le Creme fluid, and I added a little bit of silica and tapioca starch to it, and then I added some of the foundation stuff here, and then I smeared it on, because the fluid will give a little bit of some sort of a slip. So maybe it's more like you are massaging it into the skin, but you will be able to work with it for much longer. But because I added a little bit of the silica and the tapioca starch to the Le Creme fluid, then you can work with it to begin with, but then when you are finished working with it, it will sort of like it dry up, and you will not get sort of like a super shiny afterwards. It's more like look sort of a natural sort of a light. So as you see here, so I would say these things here, yes, they are very expensive for what they are, and yes, I guess you pay a lot for the brand, but I would say there are other products out there, and actually lately I have used another product I like to use, particularly in the evening, because in the daytime I'm using a sunscreen, of course, and there is no sun filters in this stuff here from Chanel. So I like to use in the evening. I use this one here at the moment, actually, and this actually gives a sort of like a matte-ish finish as well, and it's a lot cheaper. So they have this one here, which is for the eyebrows. And we can just have a little look, and this like has two ends. So one end you have the waxy sort of thing. So this is a brown, sort of grayish brown one, and I've actually used a little bit on my eyebrows. And again, something like if you're using makeup for men, then I would say rather too little than too much. If you like to sort of like look like a man in sort of like an ad or something like that, because obviously men can use all the sort of makeup that they will like, but it's more like this stuff here, these are meant to be sort of like discreet. So if you like it to be discreet, you have to sort of like tone it down a little bit. So this one here, I would say what they are saying is actually that you have this flat, so this flat thing basically, and then they are saying you can go through the eyebrows with that one and sort of like maybe give a little bit of a color to the eyebrows. Now I have dark eyebrows, so this will not do a whole lot for me, but I can use it on the skin. But again, if you're using it on the skin, you definitely don't want a hard line or anything like that. So like you saw some ladies in the 80s, for example, that I really, yeah, not good. And so this one here, it's kind of like in this light here, it might look really grayish, but actually it is brown. So what I would say is that you can use this one here, and then you can flick it through the eyebrows, and then you can use the pointy edge, sort of like, and there you can go in. And one important thing is that you don't want a harsh line. So a good thing with something like this is just hold it at the tip, because then you don't risk doing it too much. So you basically just look in the mirror, of course, and then you kind of like go lightly in the direction of your brows, so where the hair is growing, and then you sort of like get a light sort of like tint onto the skin. And I would say it doesn't give a lot of pigment to begin with, so that's a good thing, because then you don't risk overdoing it too quickly. But when you are finished with that, and you just turn it down again like that, then you can open the other end, and you put this one on, of course, and then you have this sort of a brush here. And I have used it today to go through my eyebrows with it. So you basically just go in like that, and that means that you sort of like can maybe distribute the brown waxy stuff that you just added on. And then particularly usually your eyebrows will be sort of like a very more sparse out here, so you have to be really sort of like make sure that you only get sort of like a feather like strokes out there. But yes, I will actually say that if you have a waterproof eyeliner, so one of these with a felt tip on it, the best thing to do basically is if you have lighter eyebrows, that is to just flicker it through, because the eyebrows or the hairs, they will pick up the pigment from it, and it will be waterproof, so you don't risk that during the day, if you're sweating or something like that, it start to show that you have put something on. You just need to be sure that you don't touch the skin itself, so basically just flick it through. So that, I would say, is the best tip for coloring your eyebrows. But I'm sure Chanel might have a product like that, but they don't have it in this series here, so not in the Boy de Chanel series as far as I saw it. They have a sort of like a crayon thing as well, but that is a lot thicker, and you have to be really careful with that one, because that will give a lot of pigment in one stroke, so you have to be really careful with that. So if we are looking at this one here, so the nail varnish, so it is sort of like a clear, but as you can see, it's not see-through. So the thing is that the color will actually build up. So if we just open it like this, because I thought I had to squeeze it like that and then it would come off, but it doesn't. You have to take it off like that, and then you basically just go like this. And I would say it was relatively easy to use, and I was a bit like, okay, yeah, it works well, because I don't normally use varnish for my nails, so I was a little like, oh, try not to be too clumsy. But I thought, okay, yeah, it went actually rather well. But the thing is that we just add a little bit to this one here, so I think it gets a sort of like a nice even coating. Now this nail, particularly nail here, it was the first one where it started to sort of like peel off. So after a little while, I started like, yes, I can actually peel this sort of a thing off. But it does, it dries up very quickly, so it's sort of like, it looks like this. So you see, this one has been a little bit patchy, and then there are these ones here, which I have just put it on some of the other days, and then you can see how some of it, particularly that nail there, it started to come away at the top. So when I put more on it, then it becomes more and more a solid color, and that looks maybe not that nice. Actually, I was at the hairdresser the other day, and in the light they had down there, I was just looking down at my nails, nails and thought, oh, this is not looking good. And that was because when you're putting too much on, it simply sort of like resembles to have some like a nicotine sort of like colored nails, and not really nice. So here there are too much on, as you can see. It's sort of like it's a weird sort of a color. And here I just put one coat on, and sort of like gives a sort of like a shiny sort of a look, so make the nails basically look a little bit well nourished and well polished and that sort of thing. But I would say just add one coat, and you can see it's not super shiny. It's sort of like it just takes away, if your nails are sort of like matte, then you can add this and you will get a little bit of a shine, but it doesn't look over shiny. And again, this is supposed to be just one coat, I would say, and then you get this sort of like a shiny, little sort of shiny look. But if you overdo it, it will sort of like look like this, and it looks, I thought if my nails look like that, I would go to the doctor. So just one coat, and I say you get sort of like a little bit of some shine to the nails. But yes, there are obviously other varnishes out there. I'm pretty sure they are much cheaper. So there is also the option that you just care for your nails a little bit better, so they look better. And I will say that for quite some time, and I've spoken about NMN before, and I've spoken about Q10 and that sort of thing. I would say for the last couple of months, when I've taken a lot of that, my nails, but particularly you can see on this here, I put a little bit of varnish on it, but they are actually really super like if I had polished them, and I haven't. So it's more like they just have become a way lot better. So that's really nice. So yes, but you want to fake it, then obviously yes, you can use this one here, but just don't use too much of it. So in general, I would say that something like this, I would say for what it is, it's a little bit too expensive for my taste. And then there is actually some issues, I would say, and something like this, it has a glycerin in it, and that is sort of like it's moisturizing, and that's great. But there is also something else in it, and that is a preservative, and that is something that is not really good. Not like you shouldn't use preservatives, it's not like that. But this particular one here, there are some that would say they would avoid that, and it's yeah, so that's not great. So maybe they could have used something else instead. But yes, I would say that these things here, they are sort of like I've tried it. Is it something I'm going out and buy a whole lot again? I just need to have all I can get, because lo and behold, what happens if they don't produce it anymore? But no, certainly not. I mean, this is super expensive, I would say, particularly for what it is. Yes, it does keep your skin a little bit matte, but I would say there are a lot of other products that does that as well. So yes, that was my little verdict on these things here. So yes, if you are really into Chanel, yes, you can have a go at it, but I would say that no, it's not something I'm gonna buy again, I'm sorry. So, well, I didn't buy it because it was a gift. So yes, now I have tried it, and yes, so that was basically my verdict on this. It's not something I would go out and buy again. So yes, those were the words. If you'd like to see more of this sort of videos, please subscribe, hit the bell, and do all the things, and do know to be notified when I upload more of this sort of videos. Thank you for watching. See you. Bye.